Good evening. Thank you everyone for being here today for today's council meeting, special meeting, Thursday, December 8th, 2022. Roll call, please.
Mayor Elma Beltran,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Trinidad Pimentel,
Present.
Councilwoman Diane Maldonado, Councilwoman Sabrina Rodriguez,
Present.
Councilwoman Kathy Solorio, Treasurer Michelle Lopez,
Please rise for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so we have a special presentation for Rhonda Massey McCursey. Could you please step up? Kasrick? Sorry. I've been trying to pronounce your last name correctly. So this is for you. On behalf of Bambi's Rescue and the City of Parlier, whereas we recognize and recommend Rhonda Massey Kasrick, for the efforts of regarding fostering and adoption of dogs as companions, and whereas of the Day of Recognition presents the opportunity of the highlighted and the actions of one vital role in assisting our animal services to find positive outcomes for animals in our community and in the entire Central Valley. And whereas the City Animal Service, Bambi's Army, and other Central Valley nonprofits, animal rescue groups are dedicated to help animals throughout a donation of time and resources, and whereas Rhonda Massey Kasrick stepped forward and responded to all call to action for helping animals with their time of need, which directly resulted in animals being able to leave the shelter to find homes via networking outside of the Central Valley by Ms. McCastrick, and whereas the generosity, innovative measures of Ms. Castrick, having rescued over 300 dogs alone in Parlier, and since June 1st, she pulled out over 240 dogs from Fresno SPCA death row listed animals, and whereas invaluable contributions of love, kindness, and care provided by Ms. Castrick to our animals to help them prepare for the new beginning with their new families, and now therefore be resolved by the City of Parlier, and Rhonda McCastrick has proven to be a hero in the everyday form of to Parlier and the Central Valley in entirety. To be a further resolved the City of Parlier and the City of Parlier's the City Council and the City of Parlier does hereby proclaim December 8th, 2022, Rhonda Massey McCurk Adopt a Pet Day in the City of Parlier, California. So adopt a pet. Could you step up here? I know. It was a surprise for you, and we want to thank you for always, thinking of our animals. There's so many out there that need help and need a family. And I'm an animal lover, so I really do appreciate from the bottom of my heart for what you do for all these dogs that are without homes. So thank you so much, and here you go.
Thank you.
And I want to let you know, if I ever lose my dog, I'm going to go look for you.
I promise I'll get
So,
back to you.
so I hope,
But microchip it, okay?
Like, oh,
yeah, I hope you continue to work with Bambi's Rescue, because we do really see the need here in Parlier, and we really want to see an opportunity for our future animals to be saved and not be, put on death row.
You're not getting rid of me, so.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we have, anybody wanting to approach the podium right now for public comments may do so. Any speakers at this time? Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Humberto Gomez Jr., 8607 South de la Cruz, Parlier, California. I just had, I guess from the last meeting, I was hearing that the new swearings for the members was going to be on January 5th, for the date that I understood. And I just wanted to go to election code 10263B. Neil, I wanted to ask you about that. I have the election code, and I think I just want to make sure it says within 28 days from the regular meetings. The election day was held November 8th. The certification's today. And according to that elections code, it says for a consolidated election, the governing body shall meet at this usual place of meeting no later than the next regular scheduled meeting, city council meeting following presentation of the 28-day canvass of the returns, or at a special meeting called for this purpose to declare the results and to install the newly elected officers. So that's election code 12263B. I know in November we had 4 special meetings. We have a special meeting today. We had the regular scheduled meeting on the 1st of December. What as I recall, I actually corresponded with the chief counsel, the Secretary of State, and I think he didn't agree with that January 5th date. So I wanted just to bring that up, to have the council and discussion, and also with you, Counselor, to see if because I know many other towns, they're swearing in their members. For example, even the city of Fresno is swearing in Councilmember Parlier on a special meeting. And so I just wanted to just bring that up to you since you're our city attorney, and also our city manager as well. And that's what I wanted to state. So
My understanding is he certified the election day,
yes, sir.
and the statutes you read,
Yes, sir.
excuse me, provides essentially that the next regular meeting or a special meeting set for that purpose
Correct.
after the certification is when they get
Okay.
sworn in. So we're having a special meeting today because we have certain items of business that have to get done.
Correct.
And so that's, they will be sworn in at the next regularly scheduled meeting we have,
Which is the
or at a special meeting we call for that purpose.
okay. So the next meeting would be the third Thursday of this month, correct?
Our next regularly scheduled meeting is
On the 5th. May I, just to kind of like go back with that.
Yes.
Every year that even for my first election that I've had, I've always been sworn in January. But just to, you know, I guess appease some people that are wanting to be in their seats already, which they're actually.
Oh, it's not appeasing. I'm doing the
let me-
election code.
Listen.
Right.
So
I'm not appeasing no one. I'm reading the election code, Mayor.
Mr. Humberto Gomez, you always say that I never let you speak. I let you speak. May I please answer your question?
But you
So-
misinterpreted my
Okay,
statement.
that's fine.
No, it's not
That-
fine.
Here we go.
It's not fine. I'm going to correct you when you misstate me. Go ahead.
Okay, your time is up already, so you can go ahead and have a seat. What I was going to say is that we can actually do something for them on the 4th, a special meeting, if that's okay, because I know with the holidays, with the first being a holiday.
Right.
So the next one would be on the 4th, which is only a day difference from what we were already originally planning. So on January 1st, could you put that on the record that we will have the new elected officials sworn in? So it's not really much of a difference in time frame.
No,
So
because
that's fine, and thank you for your input, and we already put it on record that it will be on January 4th. So I hope that is what you wanted to hear. So thank you. You may have a seat now.
you don't tell me when to sit down. So the next regular scheduled meeting was
Your
the
time is
third
up.
Thursday, the third, right?
Your time is up.
I'm not telling you. You don't talk to me.
Chief,
one.
here we go. It's already time up.
Who
And-
started it? You're misinterpreting my words. The next scheduled meeting is when? Maybe you're upset about the results of the election.
No, I'm
which is-
not.
Oh, yes, you
Actually,
are.
I'm fine. I'm
You don't need
fine.
to tell me anything. You
I
shut
won my
up.
election, so I'm happy with that. Thank you for everybody who supported me. Yes, it's been expired.
I'll sit down.
And we don't
but
need these
I'm not a child. number one.
outbursts every time he comes here. Him and his father tend to do this all the time. So whoever wants to have another opportunity to speak at the podium may do so now. It's okay. Chief, can you please escort him out? Now he's trying to be violent here.
shut up.
Please, escort him out, please. Please, please. Thank you. So, go ahead.
Yeah, my opinion is a little bit different than on that last report I did hear that asset was sold. I don't know what asset was sold. And so we didn't bids for the asset and to whom it was sold, that asset that you guys mentioned. So what we sold?
The asset that was sold was the tower, the tower that's right next to Veterans Park.
The tower?
The
Cell tower.
the cell tower.
Oh, okay. Because it was not mentioned, or it did not bring, you guys did not bring that to that community. So that's my only issue, and you know,
Was it last year or the year before? I think Antonio was, it was 2 years ago?
That was a long time ago, yeah.
I remember it was Antonio that
it
was,
was reported by human, so I don't know what it was, the asset.
Years ago?
because,
yeah, it was sold 2 years ago.
It was just reported in the last meeting.
No, it was,
And,
it was on the agenda for 2 years ago.
The asset was sold in fiscal year 2020, 2021. The only reason why I brought it up in the last meeting was because someone was saying that contributed to, that the sale of the asset contributed to reducing our deficit. And I said that part of that was the asset was true, but then there was a mention of transfers in and transfers out, and I tried to clarify that.
Okay.
So the auditor comes every year to present his audit. I would suggest that you be here every year so you can answer these questions and you could hear all this. We posted. The audit hasn't happened this year, but you probably are. That's a meeting you shouldn't miss.
I got a copy of the audit, but it was not mentioned on the audit still. But anyway, that was the other stuff that I want to be according to be as respectful as you are, Mayor. So I'm going to challenge it to be respectful to all of us. And the previous meeting, you were referring to me 100%. Okay, I was not even here. And then you were saying that when you were running against Armando, you used to come here. You never came here. You always were speaking from that right there. You were never came here. I know that Trina is going to say that it is not true because now he's part of that team. But in those days, I was happy that you were speaking because you were speaking on behalf of the water. But I'm going to ask you that, yes, I'm going to ask you that be as respectful as you want us to be respectful. Okay? So that's all I want.
Anybody else? Okay, we can move on to the next item on the agenda, which is consent calendar. Does anyone have any item they would like to pull at this time?
Pull number 3, please.
Okay. Any other item? No?
I have a question I want to check about Letty Trujillo.
Okay, so then let's have item number 1 and 2 and 3 pulled. And can we have a motion to approve item number 2? Motion by Trino. Do I have a second? By Sabrina. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is that 5 yes? Okay, let's start with item number 1. Okay. Kathy?
Yeah, I was just wondering who was that check issued to Alexi Trujillo on behalf of Robert? I left the check number. Sabrina, did you happen to find that on the pay warrant? It was 1,400. It stated there the last payment.
I have no idea. I'm not the finance.
I don't.
Can you tell us what
To
you're,
Alexi Trujillo.
Trul-
That's what I don't know.
Trujillo?
Yeah, and it has to do with a Robert, some kind of company, 1,000 something that it was gonna be the last pay.
There's no Stephanie Trujillo here.
Letty?
Oh, Robert Half?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that one.
yeah,
Oh.
that's
What's that? I'm just asking what's that for?
That's part of my finance staff. We went to Robert Half to find someone that's suitable for the city to join my finance team, since I don't have my complete staff, since somebody left and retired in January of 2022. So we were without a staff for a while, and we fell behind because of all this new work. And so
So it's a
we-
temporary agency.
Yeah,
Agency.
yeah,
So-
temporary agency.
Specializes in
Hiring.
in hiring with finance.
Well, remember, we're not supposed to interrupt, and my question was directly. Thank you. Okay, that's what I wanted to, you needed help with your finance
Yeah.
work, right? Assistance, in other words.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And-
that's
and-
all I
yeah.
needed to know. Thank you.
So again, it was just for the hiring company. So it's a hiring company
Yeah,
that was paid to them.
they
Temporary
they
agencies.
find people for us when
Yeah.
we need them, and we've
Yeah, I-
hired
I
two or
think you
three
brought that
people
up several
before.
times before in the past.
Yeah,
so-
we've hired like 2 of our finance team through Robert Half.
Right. Okay, thank you. So, do we have a question for the item number 3?
Yes.
Okay.
My question was on that, it was on the agenda the other day, to use the community center, and, I guess I saw something else post, they were using the civic center for the movie nights.
It actually is for the civic center, not the community center.
So what's
Oh,
number
that's a typo.
3?
It is a typo, so it is for the civic center.
Okay.
Thank you for catching that.
And okay, only because on your rental application as well, it says community center. So it's not just the typo, it's the application as well. The copy that was given in the packet. So it is going to be
It will
at
be,
the
it will be for the civic center.
at the civic center, the movie nights, correct?
Yes.
And then the other nights that they're having services
It
and all
will
that,
also be at the civic center.
and they're going to be it's a rental for that, correct?
It will be, there's going to be a Thursday night event with the youth,
Which is a movie night.
and then a Friday night, movie night, family night.
Okay, so again, the application is not correct. And it just says movie nights on here as the event for Thursdays from 5 to 9.
So maybe what the question is what they're using it for, right? It's
Yeah,
not
correct.
not so much.
Because it was already posted on, and this is something that I questioned because
Mm-hmm.
it was already posted out to the community that it was going to be held at the Civic Center, and it was for services, church services, the movie nights, and Bible study. So that is not on here, and
I believe the movie night was something that Susan Bachara and Gabriel, right, we're working on. Susan, could you please?
And then they decided to join together on the Thursday night event as well. With the
It's
youth.
good because it's something that gives back to our community, especially our youth. So thank you for doing that, Susan.
You're welcome. Any question?
Go over how you guys came about working together and putting that together with the movie night.
Okay, my purpose has always been to build good community to work together, regardless of churches or anything like that. It's called unity. Okay? So when I wanted to do more activities at the Civic Center, I can only be limited to do that because nobody can address everything for the youth. I believe in collaboration, I believe in networking, I believe in cooperation. So that's why when Pastor Gabriel said, I can help you with the movie nights, because I've always wanted to have a movie night for the kids on Friday rather than being on the street. So he offered that. That's basically what it is. So I don't
you.
know anything else.
That should be it. It's just more of a clarification, I
Thank
think.
you so much.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. So do we have, go ahead. Go ahead.
My question, Mayor, is that it is related to the Vision Praise Center involvement. I mean, because they were the ones that were doing your political campaign. And now we're gonna reward them with by using the community or Senate or whatever center we are providing. So it's a payback because they are happy to assist you in your
So
political
if
campaign.
paying back is giving back to our youth,
No,
yes.
no.
If it's to
The
pay, if
paying back-
paying back is giving
Paying
back to
back-
our youth, absolutely, I will support anyone and everyone who is here to help our youth. If you're against that, that's your opinion. But I support anything that's going to help keep our kids safe and off the streets. And if Pastor Gabriel is willing to dedicate his time for that, God bless him for doing that. So thank you.
I believe that is a payback, Mayor, because you should be leaving this to the next council because you are already giving
So you're saying that they will say no? Is that why you want them to come in?
know what they're gonna say.
What are they going to say?
I don't know.
So it's on our,
A lot of stuff that
Okay.
it should be dealt by the next council.
okay, this is something that's on our table today. So not all city business is going to wait till the next year. So thank you.
And put the record know that I filed a complaint to with the Attorney General's office concerning the sit-down counselor. Because that's one thing the Chief Counsel of the Secretary of State told me. When anything, there's budgetary decisions that are gonna go on for the next month, then those could be null and void. So you're making budgetary decisions. Mayor, you gotta think that I'm against you. I might disagree with your leadership. I have nothing personal against you. But when you're making these decisions on budgetary, on things like that, I don't know how the next council's gonna vote. Okay? I don't know how they're gonna vote. Okay? So that's the thing. I made the complaint. I
That's
filed the
fine.
complaint.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
Neil, and I'll bring it.
Day.
Yes.
Yes.
I
So
talked to the
that-
chief.
we're
Can I
not
get with
gonna-
the council because
Let's move on. So do I have a motion to approve
Will,
item
I'll
number
talk to you
1 and
about-
item number 3?
The date of certification.
Motion by Diane. Do I have a second?
I'll talk to you. I want to talk to you one-on-one.
Second by
about
Trino.
that.
Do I,
Okay, thank you.
I'm just telling you.
5
you're
yes.
wrong.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
And you can file whatever complaint you want.
So now we move on to regular business.
Okay, the first,
Item number 4.
first item is approval of agreement between Parlier
We
and
cannot
Selma.
have these conversations. Neil, if you would like to step outside with him and to have that conversation with him, it's fine. I need to continue with the
Well, we-
meeting.
we need to have
because we're
him
not
for
gonna
this.
be having a fiasco here. You and your father tend to do this every meeting. So I'm trying to conduct business here. You're trying to stop business, and that's not right. Thank you very much.
You're interrupting me with this professional conversation with the city attorney.
You're the one that's.
Mr. Gomez,
you would not
he's
sit
up
down.
for the next
Okay,
item.
thank you.
Okay. The
Okay, go
next
ahead.
item is the approval of the agreement between Parlier and Selma for the provision of police department dispatch services. This item is the agreement. We actually were with, or are currently with Colinga Dispatch Services. And we are right now in the middle of our 6-month, 180-day time frame where we need to find another dispatch services. Our agreement with Colinga, they increased it substantially. They tripled our amount, And so we needed to find another dispatch services. We worked with Selma. I met with the city manager, chief met with their chief, and we were able to come to an agreement that was $105,000 cheaper than what we would have had with Coalinga. So the Selma approved the agreement on Monday night. We need to approve this agreement tonight. We are on a very tight time frame because we do need to get this approved with the Department of Justice. I'll let the chief talk a little bit about that.
Yes, Mayor, Council, and the members of the community. So there's the transition for dispatching services. It's a lengthy process. So generally, you got to go through the Department of Justice. You got to go through CHP. All these notifications have to be done, and they take anywhere from 4 to 6 months. So the contract with Coalinga, we have the time clock on that already started about a month and a half ago. So we're up against the clock right now. So if we don't complete this transition with Selma within the 6 months, we're going to have to pay that higher amount that was increased with when Selma increased their dispatching services fees. So in order to avoid that, we really have to step up the process and get our services transferred over to Selma Dispatch. And there's a number of reasons for this. And one of them was, as the city manager mentioned, the fees went up significantly. So I did receive, I think the city manager, we all received a letter from the Coalinga city manager indicating that they were going to increase the fees from it was about $108,000 that we were paying every year, and that fee went up to $214,000.
$295.
Yeah, it was astronomical. So in the beginning, and I was part of the process when we went to Coalinga. So I was part of the dispatch transition process, and we negotiated that fee, which was extremely reasonable. And so it was sensible and feasible for the police department to go to that dispatching services, because those extra savings, those funds, actually amounted to another police officer being out in the street. So it was a great deal. Unfortunately, that deal expired, and because of the increase in fees, it's only sensible to go out and seek out other dispatching services with a much more reasonable fee. And Selma just got a state-of-the-art, brand new police department facility with a dispatching services, a multimodal dispatching services where they can handle several agencies at once. So, of course, with that brand new facility and its state-of-the-art dispatching, we went over there and inquired about entering into a contract for dispatching services. And of course, they were eager as well as we were. So the only thing is, with that 6 months window and putting this together, there's a lot of paperwork involved. I've been working with my staff and my records personnel to get the paperwork involved completed and to get the contract, a mutual agreement. And so we finally got to that stage. They approved it Monday, and so we kind of need to get it approved as soon as possible in order to stay within that 6 month window. And I think we got that letter from Coalinga in October. So we really got like 4 months. And the DOJ process for that application, there's a reciprocity agreement, there's an AT&T 911 agreement that we have to transfer over. There's a lot of steps involved, and generally those take 4 to 6 months. So we're trying to really get ahead of the 8 ball and get this through so we don't have to pay the elevated fees to Coalinga until this goes through. Yeah, so that's pretty much, and one of the factors that we felt comfortable with is that the fact that Selma is, just adjacent to us. It's really, there's a huge benefit with that in respect to us communicating regarding crimes that are occurring in our city and their city, and the criminals that are transcending those borders. And when we communicate at that level, we can be much more efficient and share resources. So if we need mutual aid, they're right down the street versus Kalinga being an hour and a half away. So there's a lot of benefit to it. In large, it was the astronomical increase in that dispatching that Kalinga changed. We never anticipated that, and so that's kind of what set this in motion. And I do have a really good relationship with all the chiefs around here, and Chief Rudy Alcaraz in Selma. He's a really good guy, and they were eager to have us on. And we all saw the benefit. It was very sensible and logical that we have a dispatching service with an agency close within our vicinity. So we, like I said, we're chasing the criminals across the same border. So that's in brief, that's kind of how this developed and kind of where we're at with that. But we are against the clock on this. Hopefully we're going to meet the clock. The potential go start date for the dispatching services with Selma is in March. Hopefully we can accomplish that before March, because I believe in April is when we expire that 6 month with Kalinga, and we may have to pay some extra fees there. So hopefully we can save that money and use it for something else. But yeah, we are up against the clock on this one. There is some equipment that had to be ordered to set up that communication, the radio communication. There's some radio equipment that we had to order, some antennas, some receivers. So yeah, it's been about 2 months that we've been working on it. I've been working closely with the chief, and Sonia Hall's been working close with the city manager to make this happen. And I think we got a really good partnership with Selma, and like I said, it's important we have these and cultivate these relationships with our agencies close within our vicinity, so we can work together as a team. But that's kind of
Thank you, Chief, for explaining that in more detail. So I'm glad that you guys are working on that, and we've been trying to get this going since January of this year. And because they not only increased it once in January, they were trying to increase it the second time within 2 months.
Yeah.
And that's when it was up to almost 300?
Yeah,
About
almost 300.
Almost 300,000. So that's when we figured, we need to give. And actually, Selma was one of the ones that was recommended in the beginning before we went with Kalinga. So maybe it was meant to be. So thank you for that. I believe Kathy had a question.
No, I was going to ask Chief, when we first got Kalinga on board, everybody was so excited.
yeah.
It was a big applause, the best thing that could ever happen.
Yeah.
So what made Kalinga change their pay for us paying them more money now?
So the calls for service, Parlier has a much higher call volume than Kalinga because we're a larger agency and there's a smaller city. So and going through this process, we had a consultant who pretty much negotiated and navigated this for us, but I worked directly with the consultant as well as with Kalinga. And some of the information you need to know as a dispatch is, what is your call volume? What is your 911 call volume? So they can understand the impact on their services and if they're going to have to hire additional personnel or not. So all of that was provided to Kalinga when we negotiated this, and they came up with the amount of $108,000. And we were paying like $250,000 to the sheriff's department. So we saw the benefit in that. It was tremendous savings, and like I said, it allowed us to pay for another officer to be out on the street, which we were with our staffing. That was exceptional. So, at the time, it was a great deal for Parlier. Parlier, we came out on that deal shining. It was a really good deal. So I'm not sure. I know the call volume. They asserted that our call volume did go up. According to my research, it didn't go up. It's actually stayed the same, or it was a little less. So there's a difference in how you collect stats. So I'm not sure if there was some subtle differences in that, but it wasn't nowhere near, I think, that would equate to increasing the dispatching fees to over 200 and something $1,000. And I've got the letter from the city manager with the information on there. So it was a bit surprising to see that amount. And additionally, before that, they were asking for reasonable increases, like cost of living increases, maintenance increases, which is sensible. Okay, it's a 5%, 8% increase, annually, and okay, that's understandable. But when we got the letter and it was like astronomical, it was like, wow, okay, I'm not sure what motivated that, but I just felt that was, we might as well go back to the sheriff's department if we're going to pay that much money.
I'm happy, Sonia. Thank you
Yeah.
for looking into that and saving the city money. For you looking into that and supporting us for our police department. Very good job, Sonia. Thank you.
And correction, it was actually Chief that I asked Chief to go ahead and do the research, and thank you, Chief. Sonia did her part with the city manager, and he did the part with the chief of police. So it's a team effort, and thank you both for doing that. I don't see an issue also with our partners, even with the board, the council in Coalinga. They're actually really understanding of this decision. They understand it's business. It's not because we don't dislike them or anything like that. It's just business, and you're gonna go and look for the better deal. And that's where Chief came in and Sonia came in and met with other agencies that would give us the best deal, and that's where they decided to go with Selma. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and I do want to add that we still have a good relationship with Coalinga.
Yes,
we
we do.
still work. We know all their officers because we were on the same channel together. We know their personnel. We know their chief over there. We know their lieutenants and everybody. We're still partners. So a lot of the operations that we have, Coalinga participates in our operations, and we participate in theirs. So we've got some scheduled that are coming up, and they're a part of it. So, we still have that relationship, and we know that, this is just kind of business and numbers, but no, we still have a good relationship with Coalinga, absolutely.
Yeah, and their council are great people. I've met them all, and they're really good people, and so is the city manager in Coalinga. She's really sharp and really workable. It's just business. So if somebody else, go ahead.
Just real quick, Sonia, just to clarify on the report, it says annual cost of service will be 105,000.
But that's what it was in Coalinga.
Was in Coalinga, the 105.
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
And then so now the cost of service is going to be 190 with Selma.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's actually better than a
Yeah.
295.
Oh yeah.
So I believe there was one question, if you would like to approach the podium, so that way. That was my question. Okay. All right, so if there's no other questions, so I can have a motion for approval.
Motion.
Motion by Sabrina, second by Dan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5 yes.
Okay, the next item is a resolution to 22-58 for the final budget to be approved by City Council for fiscal year 2022-23. Ellie, did you want to go over that?
Yes, the City Council held a budget workshop on December 17, 22 to review and discuss the proposed budget for fiscal year 22-23. At this meeting, the Finance Director provided a fiscal overview of the upcoming year as well as the performance for fiscal year 21-22, which are still estimated numbers, and they won't be actual numbers until the fiscal audit takes place in the near future. The audit will be conducted by Brian Jolly, CPA. Council was informed by the Finance Director that fiscal year 21-22 numbers were estimated, and once the audit is complete, the numbers will result in a lower or higher amount than what was presented. City staff requests adoption of the proposed revenue and expenditures for all major funds in the final budget of fiscal year 22-23. I do have one correction, public record, Dorothy, for page, let's see, let me see. Yeah, page 7 of the budget, under part-time, it currently doesn't, on what was posted for today's meeting, it needed to say Animal Control Officer 1, and we've changed that, and I have new copies here. But, so if you can please add that
On the record for the
yeah, on the
minutes.
record, the part-time Animal Control Officer, or, yeah.
Yes, please.
So the money was added into the budget, it didn't make it
Didn't
here as a
reflect as
typo.
far as a
Yeah.
part-time position there. Thank you. So any questions regarding the budget?
No, it makes sense. And I'm going to meet with Ellie at a later time to go over some other stuff. Just questions, clarification for me.
Okay. Anybody from the public? No? Okay, so do we have a motion to approve item number? Motion by Trino, second by Diane. All those in favor? Is that yes? 5 yes. Yeah, they're all.
Trino and Diane.
And item number 6?
Item number 6, Ellie, is the recognized obligation payment schedule for 22 to 23 for July 2022 through June 2023 period and successor agency administrative budget for fiscal year 22 through 23. So the staff recommends that the agency adopt resolution number 59, approving the recognized obligation payment schedule 22 to 23 for July 22 through June 23 administrative budget for the fiscal year 22-23.
This is just your annual
It's the
ROPS,
annual ROPS.
Yeah.
that accounts for the
Successor.
ongoing existence of the successor agency that replaced your redevelopment agency.
This is the annual thing that we do.
Yeah.
And it simply accounts for the bonds that they have to pay and authorizes those payments.
A standard practice that we've had for every year. Anybody have any questions in regards to that? Anybody from the public? Okay, so we have a motion to approve. Trino and Diane. And all those in favor? 5 yes. So let's move on to item number 4.
Item
Sorry.
2023
Let's start all
through
over.
2024 continued funding application. This is for the Academy of Excellence. This is their annual continued funding application resolution. So this is just for them to have their authorization for me to sign the contract documents for their continued funding. So it's just a resolution
Anybody have any questions?
for that. It's a resolution for me to sign their contract documents for them to continue having their funding for the Academy of Excellence.
Right. Any questions from the public? So do I have a motion by Kathy and second by Diane? All those in favor? Motion carries 5 yes. Kathy, and then Diane. Now we have,
Next item is consideration necessary action on the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council for the City of Parlier.
that would
And
be Susan.
Susan?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. The last time I was here, I was just wanting to see if this is something that the council would like to support. It wasn't supposed to be something to be debating over how it should be done or this and that. All we're saying is that, are we interested in Parlier to have a youth advisory council? Because they have it in all the big cities. And those of you who weren't here last week, what I was doing is to offer an opportunity so that the youth in Parlier will have a voice. because every big cities have a youth advisory council, mayor's youth advisory council. Not because Alma is the mayor now. It doesn't matter. Once we have the mayor's youth advisory council, then we're part of a committee throughout the state that we actually have something established for the youth so that the youth will have a voice. It will pass when I'm dead too. So, it's going to be going on all the time. That means the youth will have a voice and a recommendation to make to the adults that are sitting there. So this is what I'm going to put it in a nutshell. Because I'm a little disappointed. I'm a very straight out person. And I'm also very honest because I'm not running for office, nor do I intend to run for office. It's not a competition, okay? So I just want to make it very clear. The Youth Advisory Committee is to help these young people to be able to communicate and gain skills in government because they're the future of America. And I'm tired of hearing that only the big cities seems to be having all the young people to be the voice. What happened to city of Parlier? What happened to the smaller cities? And I want to thank you for one council member that actually reached out to me. Kathy, I really appreciate you actually calling me, that you showed interest saying for me to check how it goes on in Sanger. I really thank you for that. But the thing is, when I did more studying, every city has a different approach for their youth, but it does help me to see, I did research that, to help me to see what can we do to have Parlier's own youth to have a voice. Not the adults trying to dictate or manipulate them. Let them have a voice. Let them learn communication leadership skill, commitment, and availability. Let them have some accountability to their city. And like I said last time, if you look at the small cities, once they graduate from high school, they don't want to stay. They don't want to stay because a lot of them are very disappointed with the leadership. They wanted to go bigger cities. They want to serve in bigger cities. They go to Fresno. They go everywhere. But if any city is going to be successful, we need to keep our young people in the city where they were born, where the city that they can be proud of, the city that they want to take part in making it a better place. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here since 2012. Not trying to gain approval or become popular. No, that's not my thing. I have a calling from God. This is my calling, and I'm not going to be ashamed to tell you. I fall in love with Parlier. I know this youth. I know a lot of youth. I've been around 35 years. But this is one city that I can't seem to let go. I've been to every other little cities. But there's something about Parlier every time I come to this meeting. Passion, even with your differences, even with your argument, which I hope it doesn't go on. But there's passion, and I can see that you love this city. But if you love this city, you can have our differences, but let the children see how you cooperate with each other. How do you resolve things properly? How do you make things happen? It could be such a good, great role model. And this is why I wanted to have this Youth Advisory Council come together to show the city of Parlier off and say, hey, you know what? The youth in Parlier can do it. What are you talking about? We don't need just young people from San Francisco or from Sacramento or whatever. Once we have this council, guess what? Those who want to participate, guess what? They're able to go and participate in other city, in other state, and be part of that community. We're not here to ask every little details, the application and all that. All we're asking is whether to get a Youth Advisory Council in Parlier. That's all, Mayor, members of the council. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, thank you, Susan, and you're right, it shouldn't have been a debate. This is something that I've also mentioned before several times on. They are our future, and we need to invest in them, and the best way is to have something like this so that they can learn how city government works. Because if they are more astute to what's going on and how things work, then they will have a better understanding and better judgment on decision making when it comes to when you vote when you're voting for a measure, for a proposition, you understand how it works and how government will work for you if you know it better. So thank you for bringing that to us. I do appreciate everything that you try to include in our youth, because that is something that we should do. And I mentioned at the last meeting that when I was in Sacramento, they had that there. And they actually work with the council, and what they do is just, communicate and give ideas of what they would like to see in their community. That's basically what it is, a little committee that forms together, that works with the council, and decisions that are going to be made, they have their input of what they would want to see. So I think that that's a great idea. I've never had a problem with it. I've never tried to debate you. I've always supported you in everything that you try to bring for our youth. So I hope that now with this, maybe our council has a little bit of understanding of what's, of what, did you have any questions as far as that?
So again, just to clarify, the last meeting, and I said that specifically, it was on here as an action item. Okay, it wasn't on here as a presentation. So I hope you understand where I was coming from on voting at that time at the last meeting. I'm all for a youth committee. I just don't understand what's the hurry, what's the rush. And again, I didn't have a time frame to speak to you.
You didn't get a hold of me. We were supposed
I do
to
work
talk.
full time.
Me too.
And I do coach.
Yes.
So, and I do have a child. So again, less than a week to have to meet with you, I wasn't able to do that. But again, I don't know what the rush is for this. I'm all for youth.
Nobody's talking about
nobody
rush.
can even question me on that. I'm all for the youth all the time. So again, I just wanted to clarify, the last time it was said exactly what it says now. As an action item, not a presentation. So that's why I had the questions. And what was presented, I had questions on. I saw maybe one thing that was removed from the last meeting.
Okay.
So again, I did not get to reach out to you to get that information. But again, I'm all for a youth group, a youth committee.
So, okay, so if there's no other questions.
Can I just respond to Miss Sabrina, the council member? No one is rushing. No, are you really hearing me right? If I didn't explain that clearly, maybe I need to clarify again. We're not rushing. All we're saying is that, do the council want to have a youth advisory in Parlier? And you're making it sound like we have to hurry. It's not for me. All I'm asking is like, Kathy did it very clearly. She said, look into it, the one in Sanger. She got it. She got it. It wasn't like we have to dictate everything and correct. All I'm asking is so simple. I put it together. It is not final. But once we get approved and the council here and the mayor support it, then all of you, I'm inviting every person in this community to come together. Then we can go into the nitty-gritty, how the application should be and who should be there and everything else. But I don't want it to be an adult that makes the decision. I want the youth to be there. So we can then brainstorm everything. And I don't need the chief to be there either. They all know how to behave. Okay? So all I'm saying is that we're all just asking, do you, as city of Parlier, and I am going by the book, I come to the mayor and the council because you are the one representing the city of Parlier. Do you support to have a youth advisory council? That's it. It's not about hurrying and this and that. Nothing. I never said about hurrying. It's almost like I'm applying for money. Even in that whole program, I'm not even asking for money. I'm asking the youth themselves to raise that fund. The youth are all for it. All I'm asking is a simple question. I said, do you want it or not want it? Why do we go into more complicated situation? I just don't understand that. Maybe I'm not a politician. That's why maybe I have a hard time understanding. But please forgive me, Sabrina, if I don't get your point. But you also need to get my point. Thank you.
Okay. Here we go. Susan, again, we're not against it at all. And I talked to you, but we still need more information. Like they have it on the website. Give us something we can read in black and white. Who's going to be in charge of what? Where are the... all of it. So like that.
So my question, Mayor, my question was, then why was this backup submitted?
So you
Why was this
so you can
backup-
have an idea what it's gonna be like.
Okay, but if
It's an example.
okay,
So what
I'm again like I'm
what we're-
I'm
what-
for this, but I just
what
don't like
she's-
my the
okay.
backup with
Well, that's not even gonna be how it's really gonna be. She just put that as an example, like for you to get an
Yeah,
idea.
you can do
how
anything
the
you want with it.
application might look. This is just to give her the blessing to go ahead and start that and try to form a committee. It's
Not
not
for me,
funded by the
everybody.
city. It's just her working with the city and bringing kids together that want to participate. Where we
Anybody.
have them here, some of them, if they want to be involved, let them be involved. I don't see why. Again, and yes, it shouldn't be a debate. We're not funding anything. It's just so they could be heard and be part of our council. To input. Just like we want the community to have their input, we want our youth to be involved as well. So I don't understand, again, why it is a debate. It shouldn't be. I support it. I see the youth here that are for it, and I'm sure there's more out there that want to be involved. I've heard some of the students in the high school talk about what they want to say and speak up and be more involved since they see the city moving in a positive direction. The past 5 years, they've seen 6 years now, they've seen the positive. So they want to get involved, and this is great. This is something great
Anybody
that
can
our
join.
youth
It
want
doesn't
to
have
be
to- yeah.
involved. It shouldn't be a debate. We're not funding it. It's just for them to be part of our group and have input. So thank you for trying still again. This is just, it is for an action so that we can give her the blessing to go right ahead and try to get the kids involved. Then she'll come back to us with what she has. They'll work on the application, and then you'll have more to see in front of you. This is just the beginning stage. So I don't see a problem, and to me, I would make a motion to go ahead and approve that so you can continue and not have you come back for the third time, because it shouldn't be a waste of your time either.
Thank you.
Let me just say a little something. Back in 2003, 2004, I started an advisory committee for the youth. And what I loved about that is that I didn't have to get the city involved, because this is what happens when you're dealing with politicians. Everybody wants to pull teeth, which is fine, but the bottom line is the youth want to be heard. They want to make their own decisions. I remember we used to take them out to the woods to camp out Fridays, Saturdays, and come back on Sundays. We used to go to to all these other places, and I can't remember even half of them, but they made the decisions where they wanted to go. So it worked out just fine. The problem is that and we had our own funding. I mean, the kids went out. They worked on their funding and everything. The parents helped out a lot, but the advisory committee shouldn't even get us adults involved. You have to let the youth make their decisions, what they want to do, how they want to do it. Yeah, we can be there to guide them along, but they have to make that final decision. And I was very proud of one. That was one of the things that I had. And these were kids that were going and they were taking classes for work experience. So I got them together. I said, "You guys want to make an advisory committee?" Yes, I came here. They said, "Okay, go ahead." They weren't going to cause the city nothing. So we went ahead and did it. And it worked out beautifully because the kids were the one making the decision. There is nothing here that I see that's underhanded, a chicanery that anybody's doing. This is just something that we need to start for our children. Our youth need to get involved in something, because you see the shootings that are going on. Just had a 17-year-old down the street in Reedley, okay, that got shot with a 21-year-old. You hear it every night on TV.
Oh, by the way, we
Yeah.
are raising funds for that. So any of you who wants to help, we're doing a GoFundMe
Okay.
for that
But,
two families.
just to finish out, is this idea of an advisory committee is wonderful. And, all this council should agree with it and approve it, because this is about our kids, our future.
Yeah.
And if we stop dealing with our future, they're not going to deal with us either. They're going to go on their own. Okay? So
Okay, so then now I just want to just close with this so that way we can move on, because if not, we're going to be here for who knows how long. And we have one more other person that they've been waiting here for a long time. You can have a discussion with her later on. So I just want to know, I have a motion to approve this item. So if there's a second, second by Trino. And do I have anybody else?
I do.
No.
I told you since the last
Okay.
time we had.
Oh, are you
Yeah,
voting?
there
I
for
made,
the kids.
I made the first and
Trina?
he's got a second. So do I have,
Yes.
yes?
I just wanted more information and to find out
Yes.
where were you getting your funding from
Yes.
to do this?
Okay. She said she was gonna fundraise. She just said. So that's.
So you
is
don't
that
get
a
no grant, no nothing.
No. Is that a yes or a no? So I can.
Yeah, oh, she's doing it.
No? Yes? So that's a 5 yes. Thank you. Motion carries. So it was approved. All right? Thank you, everybody. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Now, finally, I'm sorry, and I apologize to the family that's been here waiting for a long time.
Go ahead.
So we have item number
9.
9, a presentation for outstanding bravery for Kayla Beltran. If she can please come up here. Mama, come with her too, please. Come on, Dad. I want to present this to Kayla. You know, I was very impressed with you the day that we had that the school had that event for you for recognizing your bravery. I'm very proud of you. There needs to be more people like you that care and want to spread the word about anxiety, and because we all go through it, even with this as adults. So I want to thank you for your bravery and thank you for everything you do and how open you are with this to help other students that might be dealing with this. Because believe me, there's so many more that have the same issues and same concerns as parents with our children. So the City of Parlier recognizes Kayla Beltran for her outstanding bravery, my anxiety journey 2022. So we got you a journal so you can continue to write, because we have an author here now in the City of Parlier, you know, and so we are so proud of you and what you do, Mija. I mean, I don't even know what to say, and I'm sure your parents are more, you know, proud and excited for you. So here you go. Did you wanna say anything to the community as far as just anything? You have a mic now, so you won't have to. She's so soft-spoken, so. You can do it. Just say, thank you. I'll tell everybody. You are, Mama, did you want to say something?
I just want to thank you guys for everything and acknowledging her. It's been hard. It's still hard.
I'm sorry, Mom. You know what? I'm a mom, and I know when I was there and I saw everything she was talking about, and you know, as a child, you know, I know that we all went through it when we were little, you know, and we want to fit in and we want to be like everybody else, but sometimes, you know, with COVID hitting, and I know that was part of the problem with her, you know, it's the unknown, and that's what kind of like, I know it frightened a lot of kids. So I know that you guys are working through it, but I know you guys are doing a great job with her, because look at her, what you have now. You have a little author in your family, and I know you're gonna do a heck of a lot more. You know, maybe working in the mental health department, helping other kids would be something that you would want to look into, because, you know, having that experience, you can relate a little bit and have more of a compassion with that person and understanding of how to get them through it. When it's somebody that's taught, doesn't understand, but when somebody that went through it, you're the best kind of, I always say those are the best mentors, and they're the best counselors, and those are the best ones that you could ever get when they understand more in depth, like how it feels. So thank you, Mija. We love you.
The tallest guy get this. No, I'm just saying. No, that's all right.
Get him.
You want to switch? Here.
Yeah, get him a switch.
Switch. Taller than I am.
Wait.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. Your dad used to do the same thing when we were out here. Hey, Sammy, get to some back. Okay.
Set it for when, whenever, no, set the appointment to
The
when you
box?
put the logo, and then when you're able to take it, that way they can do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Hey.
Oh, yes, thank
If
you.
you need any help, let me know.
Oh, you want the box or she?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Neil, closed session, please.
Yes, you have a conference with a real property negotiator relative to the Greenbrier Holdings property concerning the terms of use for the coming year.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Okay. All right, let me just. Welcome back. Nobody's here, so nothing to report. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.